And it's Wednesday night, which means it's time for Quick Fix Golf, where all our buddies get together and talk golf, and we listen to some of the leading individuals in the business that can help us knock strokes off our game. And tonight we have a big one, Jim Stracka of StrackaLineGolf.com. And as an added bonus, we've got Derek Sanders, Tour Caddy. It's going to be on also, which he introduced me to this aim point and other kind of stuff. As Darren does the same. But Darren, welcome to whatever the hell it is I'm saying. What are we going to learn tonight?
All right. We're not going off a script or anything, so.
Laser scan greens and how they help your game. You talk about screwing up. This is it. How to have your very own green guidebook, just like the pros. We're going to learn that. We're also going to learn right here as your host, Darren DeMaili, top 100 instructor. He's got all the facts. I'm number 2 in Havana because there's only one other pro on the whole island, so I have to be number 2. Remember to subscribe to our station, give us a like, ring the bell, and Darren, tell them what we want them to do.
Yeah, we want you to play better golf. So get your cell phone out, take a picture of your golf swing, and send it to us at quick service at quickfixgolf.com. We're going to give you a free evaluation. It's the best analysis that money can't buy, because you know why? It's free. So you got no excuses. Send it to us. We'll give you a great evaluation, send you some drills to work on. You owe it to yourself, and we want you to play better golf now.
And here's our special guest tonight, Jim. Welcome to the gang, Jim Stracka of StrackaLine Golf.
Hey, Bobby. Great to be here.
Well, Darren, why don't you kick things off?
All right. Oh, there he is, gorgeous George. So, yeah, I worked for Nicklaus for 7 years, Jim, and Nicklaus was accredited to starting the first yardage books and making notes and mapping things out, and George Lucas, not the movie maker, but gorgeous George, the what's the term that I'm missing the
well,
what do you call that?
He was a PGA Tour caddy.
Right, exactly. But there's a term for, mapping greens. What kind of occupation would you call that?
Maybe a engineer, maybe a little bit of just him and his dog out there rolling balls.
Right. He had a term. I can't remember what the term was, but when the Bears Club first opened, he came out there and he was the first one to kind of map everything out. But it's a neat progression on how all this has worked, and now we've got things that can actually measure greens and measure the slopes. But on how many strokes on average would your system save the average golfer, per se?
That's a great question. You have to ask yourself, how many times around do you 3-putt, and then how many times do you 1-putt? I mean, you always hear about these golf gadgets. I can save you 5 strokes around, yada yada yada. But if I can help you 3-putt a couple times less and maybe make another putt or 2, holy mackerel, we are at 3 or 4 shots around. And it's a game changer if, to understand the slopes of the green. Obviously, if you play the same course all the time, you have a pretty good idea what's going on. But with the maps, they give you that visual of how the ball is going to roll, and it's just so helpful. So helpful.
Right. To me, 3-putting is the low-hanging fruit. If you want to kind of get your score lower, eliminate the 3-putts. That's the worst thing you can possibly do. And I'm sure Derek can kind of confirm that. And how he's watched some of the money that he could make each week kind of disappear with 3-putts. But that, for the average golfer, 3-putting is the worst thing you could possibly do. And it's the low-hanging fruit that it doesn't take much. You don't have to be athletic. You don't have to be strong to eliminate some strokes here.
Yeah, Derek was nice enough to let me go out there with him when they were in town. And Derek, it was you, and it was the caddy for Bernhard Langer and a couple other caddies. We were out there early in the morning, and you were measuring all these greens with that level you had and everything. Is this somewhat similar to what you were doing?
Oh, it's absolutely. I think Stracka's done a job on help amateurs and even professionals help read the greens, because not everybody's a good green reader. But if you can feel the green with your feet, and then you don't even have to do that anymore. You just open a book, and if you can learn how to read the book, it tells you where to put it. There is no. It's idiot proof.
Yeah, it's no guesswork.
That's it.
Now, as far as the average golfer, is it a difficult system for them to learn to kind of understand? What do you think, Jim?
No, if you're looking at the graphic you have there on the green, it's basically the same green with a couple different views. The one on top gives you a lot of slope percents and the arrows and so forth. I like to use the one on the bottom, and the arrows tell you how the ball's going to roll. It's just simple gravity, uphill, downhill, moving left, moving right, and then the key areas are the green areas and blue areas, because those are the relatively flat areas of the green. So there's not going to be a whole lot of break in those areas. And then obviously when you get up into the reds and the pinks, those are the big slopes on the greens and so forth, and you're hitting it. But you just have to learn how to interpret the arrows on the green. And if you go to StrackaLine.com, there's a free video out there. It's 11 minutes long, and it'll show you how to use the book. And it walks you through the arrows and a little methodology for long putts and for short putts. And it's pretty simple. I mean, as I said, it's not something that is a super exact kind of measuring tool. But I'm telling you what, if you're on a green and you know that the ball is uphill or downhill at the hole, moving left or moving right at the hole, holy mackerel, that's the holy grail for a putter. And then they can get over that ball and hit a confident stroke, and they know that it's going to be slowing down at the hole and moving a little left, and that's going to make that next putt so much easier.
What about guys that have a putting stroke like Esteban Toledo, where he cuts everything? I mean, he's putting side spin on the ball. Does that affect your numbers?
No, every putter. The story of how I started this business, I was actually, I belonged to a club out here in California called the Bridges. Back in 03, 04, we had the battle at the Bridges with Tiger and Phil. And so Scotty Cameron is a member out here, and I was playing golf with Scotty, and he gave me this really cool prototype putter. And my thought was, what does every putter do? Doesn't matter if it's a Scotty Cameron putter or something you got out of the barrel at Golf Mart. Every putter is a flat stroke, flat piece of metal that hits the ball straight, should hit the ball straight. Now, obviously, we don't all have perfect strokes, but the putter just hits the ball straight. And that's a very important component to it. So my simple thought was, hey, you have this great $500 putter, but what good is it if you don't know where to hit the ball? And if you cut the ball or you have a forward press on it, at the end of the day, you still try to hit the ball straight. And if you have a good idea how the ball's going to roll, you're going to have a better chance for that ball to go in the hole. Pure and simple.
Next question. Would your system slow the game down even more by people, looking at the book and trying to decipher what they're going to do?
So we provide books to, almost 400 collegiate teams, and we did a case study on it. And I don't know if you've ever been to a college tournament, but they are the slowest people on earth, the slowest people on earth. But what our case study showed is that we actually speed up play. Now, you don't pull out the book, everybody's on the green and then all of a sudden it's your turn. Then you're like, oh, I better look at my book. No, it's, Phil Mickelson is a big, great customer of ours. And he uses the book for his approach shots. And then he's reading the green with the book as he's walking up to the green. I use it when I'm sitting in the golf cart before I walk down to the green. I see where the hole is, I see where the ball is, and I know it's uphill moving right at the hole. And then I go down to the green, I read my putt and I stroke it. It's not a book that you should be out there grinding on the green. Now, if you've noticed, I've been providing these maps to the tour players since 2008. And it's literally just in the past few years that they've figured out how to use the darn things. So they are getting accustomed to it. And every once in a while now, you see them pull it out on the green and take a quick look and a confirmation. But a few years ago, when they were grinding over these books, looking and this and that, now they understand what the ball's going to do. And they get over when they get on the green, if it doesn't match with their eye, they may pull that book out and take another look at it. But in general, they use it before they get on the green. And once they get on the green, they know what it's going to be doing. And now they're just trying to figure out the pace of the ball and taking into account grain and other things like that.
All right, Darren.
So how many courses have you scanned, and what's the average book cost? Is there a difference between what the tour players are getting and what the average golfer will get and downloading it on your phone?
Sure. So if you go to our website, a greens guide will cost just a little less than $100. But we have promotion codes that'll get you 25% off of that. And then if you want to buy books in bulk for your golf course, the cost will drop all the way down to $20 a book. Now, the graphics in the book are exactly the same that the pros are using. The only difference what the pros are getting is what we call our concierge service, where we have a tour caddy, Joey Duplantis, that travels with the tour every week. And for our tour customers, he prints out a new book for them every day. And in the book, it has the hole location for that day. And then in addition to the hole location, we print the fall lines around the hole. So we go out about 10 feet and we put little green lines that will give you the straight putts below the hole and red lines that are the straight putts above the hole. And with that information, they are super fast. It's like, oh, okay, I'm right here below the hole. I'm in the green zone. Give it a firm putt inside the hole. I'm good to go.
Derek, can you comment on that a little bit? Are you guys looking at those the zero lines?
I have been. When I caddy for Woody Austin, I've read 2 putts in my career with him, and Woody does not use the book. But I have when I worked with Jerry Smith is when I used the book, and I was familiar with it. Yes. So when I Jerry Smith, it was so easy to find right center or left center. Very seldom did you take it outside the hole if you were in that green area. It was pretty spot on. It was very helpful. I think each player, I think the older players, to be honest with you, don't use the book as much as maybe we should, because it's them. It's something new, and the younger kids, they have developed it through junior golf, into college, and into the mini tour events, and now they're out on the regular tour, and that's something that they have used pretty much their whole life. I mean, like you said, you went back to 2008. These kids are getting older. They're using these books. This is they don't have one of the books, they're lost.
Right.
Yeah, Yeah, we're really feeding the system. I mean, we're partners with AJGA, Hurricane, IMG, all the big junior tours. They're all, the kids are using the books. The college kids have been using the books for several years already, and they're all out, whether they're turning pro or they're just joining the local country club. So that's where a lot of additional users are coming from, because they were using it when they were kids, and then guess what? They're the mavens of the industry now, and they're out there using the books, and they're helping their buddies learn to use the books, and it's continuing to just evolve as a great tool. I mean, we've all played a great resort course, or many of us have, that you have a great caddy and they read every putt for you. This is your caddy in your pocket. This is going to help you read those putts when there's nobody out there helping you. And so that's the thing that made me a little crazy about the PGA, the rule change a few years ago, was you allow a caddy to read every putt for you, but they were like, oh, well, green reading's a necessary skill of the game. Well, not for the professional golfers. They're out there with a caddy. So it's a great tool, to not only for on the green, but also for approach shots. And it's a game changer if you want to play better golf, for sure.
What was this rule that they were threatening to take the books away from the caddies or something? What was it? What was the whole deal on that?
Well, it all started, I remember a few years ago when Mickelson and Stenson went head to head at the British Open.
No.
You remember when?
Yeah.
They lapped the field. They were way out in front of everybody, and it was a two-man horse race. Well, they had green sheets that were the size of a notebook, and that optic the RNA didn't like, and who was it? One of the Colin Montgomery is the one who really pushed for the rule change. So what they did was they didn't take away any detail. All they did was limit the scale. So if you're looking at the book, the scale can't be, you have 5/8 of an inch to 5 yards of a green. And it's a pretty elegant solution, because you can still have all the detail, but you can't have extreme detail. And, they said, do whatever you want to do as long as the book is in the scale. And, so we changed our technology to make sure every book coming out is at the proper scale. And that was January of 2019, and we've been doing great ever since.
Did you ever see the book that Angelo, Jack Nicklaus's caddy, did?
I did not, but Nicklaus was it was kind of funny. So I think it was 1960. He started using a yardage book at Pebble Beach, and he was one of the guys that was fussed up about the greens guide. So back when he was playing, he loved the additional information, but then he was kind of saying, oh, well, they shouldn't have these greens guides. So I don't know. It's kind of funny. You talk about the older guys and the younger guys and their approach to technology and their approach to information.
Darren, you got anything else?
No, I think it's I think you're just with how times change, you have to adjust with it. It's no different than if you broke a bone 40 years ago. You obviously didn't have an opportunity to have an MRI, you had an X-ray, right? So as the times change, we have to adopt with it. And Jack is Jack's Jack, and he wants to keep things the way they are, but we got to adjust with the times. And like Jim was saying, that the college kids, they don't know any different. They have no idea. They don't know any different. So, but when I was growing up and when you were growing up, Bobby, it was, you looked at it with your eyes, and Then came around 8-point. Now you have the greens books, and it's you just got to adapt with technology.
You know, you talk about these college kids. If you step back from the game, let's say 20 years, have you ever seen, I mean, obviously Phil and Tiger were outliers, but have you ever seen so many young players compete to win like you have in the past 5 years?
Yeah, it's a different game. It's a different game because, you know, if Brooks Koepka is not finishing first, somebody else will. And they're going after, they're getting aggressive, and they're going after the win. As opposed to, you know, I'll give you a good example. You know, I got to know Bryony Baird fairly well when I was working for Nicklaus. And Bryony loved finishing the top 20. That's all he cared about. Finish in the top 20, make my money, go to the next week. Never got in the limelight, didn't want to get in the limelight. And if you asked him, he could care less about the limelight. And then one PGA championship, he started to play really well at Whistling Straits. And he was in the lead for 2 days. And it really changed his perspective on it. But nowadays, there's no longer, everybody's going for broke. I don't know what it's like on the senior tour there, but you know, at the PGA Tour level, everybody's going for broke because if they're not going to do it, somebody else will.
Well, the point that I was trying to make was the college kids are coming out and they have the green information where, you know, a generation ago, you know, you had to do you know, 3-4 years on the tour until you got to learn and understand the greens. They're coming out. I mean, do you remember that putt that Colin Morikawa made to win the PGA Championship? That eagle he made. I mean, he read that putt perfectly, and you know that's the difference. You know, you go back 10 years, you take a Colin Morikawa, he's not going to read that putt like that, and he doesn't win.
And you also have like Google Earth too. You know, people can go to Google Earth and whatever golf course they're going to play, they can actually map out the course before they even play it by, you know, pinpointing how far it is from one spot to the next spot just on Google Earth. So it's a way different game because of technology, and players don't have to dig it out of the dirt as they used to have to. So
I see this especially, I mean, when I think of how we used to have qualifying rounds when I used to play, and you qualified on Mondays in the U.S., it was Tuesdays in Europe, and you had to play the course what we call blind. You never seen the golf course before. You showed up and you were there, and you all you have was a scorecard. And you no practice round, no nothing. You had to jack it up and shoot 71, or you weren't going to play that week. You know, so and you had no information. So this is really almost like cheating. You know, you got it all right in front of you.
Yeah, the beauty of the book and the greens is that it's the same information the pros are using while you're watching them on TV, and it's really simple information. It's just arrows and some colors to tell you how much slope is out there. And in answer to your question, you know, we have about 10,000 courses. You know, we have courses in U.S. and Canada, and we're going to add another couple thousand over in the U.K. here pretty quick. So, you know, the information's out there, and you know, people are enjoying using it. And you know, we're doing some fun stuff with Golf Digest. We have different games and so forth. You know, one thing that I can do for your listeners here, if you want 25% off of any book, we have a promo code that everybody can use. It's USH, like United States, H for handicap 25, and that'll get you 25% off of whatever you want to buy online there at StrackaLine.com.
Cool.
awesome.
Somebody just choked on it. They're so excited they don't know what to do with themselves. I don't know where that sound is coming from. But anyway, that's great, Jim. It's great of you to do that. I think it's a great product. I really do. I think it's a wonderful product, and I think anybody who's serious about their game should have one of those in their hands if they're really serious. I mean, if they don't care, that's one thing. But for what it costs, it's not that much money. And if you get your golf courses you used to playing on, you can use it 100 times.
Absolutely. These books are printed on tear-proof and waterproof paper, so they're not going to get worn out, and you go out there and enjoy the day, and it's a great tool to sit there with a cup of coffee and go back and replay some putts that you had and so forth. So it's a great tool, and if you want to play a little better golf and make a few more putts, buy a book for your course and away you go.
Let's open up the phones, and if you don't mind, I'll have a couple of questions. Who's got a question, Frank?
Yeah, what's that discount code again?
USH as in handicap 25. Five letters there.
Yeah, but
three
Frank,
letters, two numbers.
Frank, it won't be any good because they don't have one for putt.
Well, that was a thought.
Those are all pretty follow the carpet, man.
Frank, if you want us to come out and laser your putt course, I'm there for you, buddy.
Is that what you do?
You ever come out to our course? You ever come out to our course? You wouldn't think it was a putt at all. Let me tell you, this is a mean course.
Watch out for Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah, I wanted to take Humpty Dumpty at the one that we have a mini golf in front of our location in Richmond. I want to take Humpty Dumpty off the wall there and put him in the bathroom, sit him on the toilet. Somebody opens the bathroom door, boom, there's Humpty Dumpty taking a dump. Anybody else got a question?
I got one. How do we find out if our course is if there's a book for our course? How do we determine if there's a book for our course?
Go to StrackaLine.com and just search for your course out there. And if we don't have it, we'll come laser your greens. We don't charge you anything to come do that. We come out and travel to your course and laser the greens. And all we ask is that your club or you as a member buy 100 books at $20 a piece, and that covers everything.
Okay, it makes sense. Great.
Sure.
Yeah, members would kick in for that. Why not?
Yeah, one guy buys them and then just sells them for $20. Done.
There you go.
20, 30.
There you go. Now we're talking.
Well, that Canadian dollar's
Ain't no Cuban. Cubans would give them away, right?
The Cubans, we'd steal them. Anybody else got a question?
Yeah, I got a question.
Go ahead.
If I play a lot of different courses, do y'all have any type of subscription or app where you can download different courses and maybe?
We don't, but if you play a bunch of different courses, give Justin a call and he'll hook you up and take care of you.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? This is your chance to ask the questions of the man.
Right, this is it. You see him every week.
And what about Derek? Any questions you have for Derek?
Yep.
Derek, by the way, congratulations. You won a tournament in North Carolina.
I did.
Which was the one you won? Something was about the sectional championship or something like that. Was that what you won?
It was a Carolina Senior Section Championship, Pinehurst number 7.
Wow.
And I'm gonna tell you how I didn't have a Stracka book, but what I did, but the day up before is they put the pins out, dotted them, so I knew where they were, and I took my level out there and put the level down, so I knew what direction it was going to be breaking at the hole, and shot 10 under for 2, and hadn't putted that good since.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm really proud of you, man. You know how we feel about you. And, people don't realize how hard these caddies work. These caddies work their tails off.
Absolutely.
They're there before the pros. They're and they're there after the pros there, and it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, they work long hours, and you know, heat, humidity. You know, it's
Rain.
it looks glamorous out there, but it's a grind. It's a grind.
It's a Monday's a travel day, and if you happen to get there early Monday, you get out to the golf course and get started on a few greens, and then you wake up the next morning and you finish your job on the greens and the golf course, and then Wednesday's a pro-am, Thursdays for the regular tour, and Corn Ferry the tournament's already started, but on the Champions Tour it's another pro-am on Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday it's grind time, and your notes better be right.
Yeah, in fact, if you go to our blog at quickfixgolf.com, there's a whole thing. I got pictures and everything of Derek and I out there on the green, and what he does and what the other caddies over there as well. What's Bernhard's caddy's name?
I wish you wouldn't have asked.
Oh, somebody asked me the other day what was his name was. I said I don't know what his name is. I said he's just a skinny guy.
Terry Holt. Terry Holt.
There he is.
Yeah, Terry Holt. He's been with Bernhard for a long time now, and Terry's out there from daylight to dark, rolling balls on the greens, and he is probably one of the top 5. Bernhard's not asking him a question that he doesn't have the answer. Let's just put it to you that way. He's the most prepared caddy out there, in my opinion.
You'd have to, otherwise Bernhard put him in the cooler.
Bernhard knows the answers before he even asks the questions. I can promise you.
I can hear his caddy now. I know nothing. Oh well, I thought it was funny.
They get along great.
Anything else, Darren? If not, we'll call it a night.
No, Jim, how can we get in contact with you? How can everyone get a hold of you? How can we buy some stuff from you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can go to the website, and my email is jim@StrackaLine.com, StrackaLine.com, and shoot me an email. I'll send you the video on green reading and how to use the books and so forth, and get you some books.
Yeah, I really recommend it to anybody that learn more about the surface you're putting on, as well as working on your stroke. Because you can work on your stroke and you're rolling the ball in the wrong place. What difference does it make? Really.
There you go.
I think the Stracka book does a fantastic job for your local golf professionals that goes out and signs, does pin placements themselves. And what you'll see on the tour is very seldom do you see a pin placement 3.5 to 4 slope.
Right.
So the books for the golf professionals, the PGA professionals, I think every single one that sets up a tournament for their members needs to have that book so your pins aren't in absolutely ridiculous positions.
Yeah, we have technology for the club pros that we programmatically move the hole around for them so that they don't get in trouble for putting it on slopes and different places like that, and it really freshens up the course as well because it's all done based on the information that we have about each green.
Well, Jim, you're the greatest, man. We really appreciate you coming on. We really learned something tonight.
Yep.
Anytime, guys. And next time I make it over to Myrtle Beach there, Bobby, I'll look you up and we'll go have a beer.
Come on, I'll have some mojitos for you.
Now we're talking.
Nah, you got that right. We'll have a few mojitos and we'll get a muchacha or something to dance on the table.
Okay, guys, I'm off to find some green beer somewhere.
You got it.
All right, bye-bye now.
Bye.
Good job,
Bye.
guys. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks,
Bye-bye
guys.
now.
Appreciate it, Bobby.